Guys, so I was just checking out last week's schedule, and I see that the Seahawks and Rams are not, in fact, on national TV. What are we doing? Anyways, yeah, power rankings this week. It's gonna be interesting. I think some things will move around, but thankfully we didn't have too much chaos, so it won't be like, I don't know, some team going up 10 spots. But I don't know, maybe we'll see that. Who knows? But with that said, yeah, let's get this thing going. Week 11 power rankings. With that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fun NFL. Please like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed the Week 11 power rankings I got for y'all. Again, we have the Thursday Night Football preview tomorrow, and also the College Football Week 12 picks, where, again, game day is going to Pitt. Why, you might ask? Because they're playing Notre Dame, and because Pitt's been good at football? I don't freaking know. But that's what I've been hearing. So that's what I'll say there. Anyway, though, if you have not watched previous power rankings, I definitely recommend doing so, so you can see the fluctuation from this every single week. Thanksgiving, the power rankings for Thanksgiving are less than a week, or less than 2 weeks away. By the time you guys see those, it'll literally be like Thanksgiving, which is crazy. But again, that is when our playoff picture starts to actually become relevant, at least for me, because I'm not one of those geeks who does it before then. But I don't know. Maybe we'll change things up. 32 is the worst team in the league. 31 is, I guess, second worst team in the football. You guys get it. We'll start there. We'll go all the way to the top. And I'm not gonna lie, at the very top, not much is gonna change because I'm a Rams fan and we played well. Anyway, though, that's kind of spoiling some things. But the worst team in football didn't even play this week. They lost their bye week, that being the Titans, because what the hell are we doing? This is like some free advertising or something. But anyway, Titans are at 32. They suck. Cam Ward has been absolutely atrocious this year. Again, we'll break down his film. Probably, maybe not, maybe. I don't know. We'll see probably sometime in the offseason. But again, hopefully he plays better this week. They got the Texans on. Oh, okay, that's going to be rough. Never mind. They got shut out the first time they played them. So we'll get more into that again for Week 12. No, Week 11. We're not in Week 12 yet. Hold your horses, Hank. But Week 11 picks. But anyway, Titans are at 32. So, yeah. They completely suck. 31, Browns, they lost the Tank Bowl last week, so again, kind of fitting there here, but I will say Dylan Gabriel played better, and until he plays absolutely atrocious, Shador, you're not going to get out there, but realistically, I want to see him play, because it would be pretty funny to see him throw 4 picks. But anyway, defensively, they're not the worst, which is the reason they get 169 yards, which is pretty nice, and still ended up giving up 79 points. Not 79 points. They gave up 6 completions and still found a way to get up 27 points. So, again, that is a Browns way to lose. Anyway, though, number 30, the Giants, they are basically at rock bottom. Their franchise quarterback, presumably, and Jackson Dart is probably going to get CTE with the concussion he suffered on Sunday. They fired their head coach in his 4th year in Ryan Dable because he can't win games. They're not looking too hot. They get the Packers this week. It's probably going to be a big-time loss for them. When they do not have Jackson Dart, this offense is one of the worst in football and defensively, especially at least for part of that game against the Bears, they actually looked like they could stop something. But then again, I guess the cold got to them because they couldn't stop a cold in that 4th quarter. But again, the Giants' defense at least looked partly decent for part of that game, which again is better than what we've seen in the previous couple weeks. So I'll say that, despite them being a pretty talented group. They're a horrible football team, though, when Jackson Dart isn't there. Jets are at 29. They can't throw. Again, Justin Fields can't throw. We all know that. But again, Breece Hall has, at least so far, made the most of it. Again, the trade deadline deals they have made. They probably should be lower because they're probably one of the 2 least talented teams in football right now. But they're playing hard for Aaron Glenn, who's obviously going to get another shot next season. But yeah, the Jets are not in a good spot. But again, they've won back-to-back games, and they have a very good shot at winning 3. Oh, wait, they got the Patriots. That is what we're going to bring you guys to tomorrow. But anyway, Commanders are at 28. The reason they're here is because I just have absolutely no hope for them, to be honest with you guys. They're on a 4-game losing streak. They've gotten blown out, honestly, or something like that in every single one of those games. Their defense is absolutely cooked right now. They do have some good guys in secondary, but again, they're like premier guys in that defense are all injured, except for they're at least at the second level with the linebackers. They're not completely cooked, but you get the point there. Offensively, again, they're going to be probably trotting out Marcus Mariota for the rest of the year. I don't even care if Jaden Daniels is healthy. Screw you, season ticket holders. Should have thought about that before renewing at this start of the season. Should have, again, knew what was happening. But obviously, Jaden Daniels, hopefully doesn't have to play this year because you don't want an RG3 part 2. A lot of people disagree with me on that, but I don't care. 27, I have the Saints. They had their best game of the season against the Panthers as they blew them out 17. Not really blew them out. They played well against them 17-7. Christian Olave had a 62-yard touchdown. Tyler Shook had a great game. But realistically, that's kind of a fluke. The Panthers have been absolutely atrocious in some games this season. But at the same time, I'm not going to act like that wasn't a good performance by them. Again, good for you, Saints fans. Your defense showed up for this game as well. But again, they're 2-8, guys. They're absolutely awful. But still, they do deserve some recognition here. They've been playing better. They played better this week than the Commanders did by a lot. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here, but they're probably going to drop a little bit after their bye week. Enjoy that bye week, though, again, with that 2-week unbeaten streak at the very least going into week 12. 26, I have the Raiders. They're just awful to watch. They were competitive in Denver as I expected them to be, but obviously their offense could not get it done despite their defense having their best game of the season. Kind of just typical Raiders guys. They're freaking 2-7. They can't win a game. Like, what else am I going to tell you? 25, Bengals up their bye week. It doesn't really change much that their defense is the worst I've ever seen, and their offense, I mean, is pretty good. Joe Burrow, again, everyone's freaking out because you could miss again maybe only 2 games, which obviously is not going to happen. But still, we'll see. Again, his 21-day practice window opened. He's working minimally with the groups. On the offense, obviously, because he's a quarterback. You know what's going on there. But, yeah, the Bengals are 3-6. This is a must-win game against Pittsburgh if they want to have any shot at doing anything this year. But that's probably not going to happen because they're going to have 500 yards for Aaron freaking Rodgers after he played like blind Zach Wilson last week. But anyway, 24 Falcons. They're just fun to watch. I'm a big-time Falcons fan right now. I want them to continue to lose. If they continue doing that, I will support them on their ventures there. They're 3-6 though, 4-game losing streak. They haven't really been getting absolutely embarrassed outside that Dolphins game. But again, still, they're not looking too on. They're playing the Panthers this week, where they lost in Carolina in week 3, 30-0. So who knows what'll happen there. 23 got the Dolphins. Again, I reacted way overreacted to their win against the Falcons in week 8. Again, I think I'm still overreacting here to their win against the Bills. But the Bills are a much better team than the Falcons. Oh, but the Falcons beat them. Guys, ignore again all these head-to-head crap. Like, I really hate those tiebreakers. No, I'm joking. It has some validity, but not really. Dolphins, though, they played their best game in a while against the Bills last week, snapping that 7-game losing streak versus them. Tua was not great, but still got it done. Obviously, Devon Achane ran all over the Bills, up and down, in and out. Again, no Diddy there, but still. Dolphins have just put together their best game of the season. Let's see if they don't, implode in Madrid. Guys, there's going to be no other game. I have never heard of anyone in Spain talking about football. That's all I got there, though. 22, we have the Cardinals now. They got their absolute backs blown out by the Seahawks. I still think they're a better team than the Dolphins, though, to be honest with you guys. Jacoby Brissett gives you no ceiling. I don't freaking know. Their defense was terrible. It was really their first game they've gotten absolutely destroyed, though, so I guess there's something there. But, yeah, they can't really win games too consistently, and especially with Kyler Murray and those big decisions coming up. There's a lot of things that could happen. 21 after the Panthers, they should probably be lower, but there's a chance they go into Atlanta, put 50 up on them, considering how they played against them with a bad offensive performance. Then they were really bad on back in week 3. They were really bad on offense last week at home as well, as they put an absolute dud against the Saints. But, yeah, that wasn't just a trap game. That was just the Panthers being not a real team. But at the same time, I expect them to bounce back. Bryce Young, please go back to the way you played in Atlanta last year, and then that would actually be pretty fun. 20, though. Keep getting back on track here with the Cowboys. Their defense is also abysmal. Their offense was absolutely atrocious against the Cardinals. They're still obviously a very entertaining team is the best way to put it, but realistically, they're kind of just a fake team. 19 got the Vikings because they have a much more disciplined defense and offensively, despite them having a quarterback that does whatever he wants or just, sucks. They're at least got a little bit more there than the Cowboys do, and I think that, again, realistically, they're a more consistent football team, despite probably not having the potential to be a really good team. Who knows, though? 18 got the Jags. What are we talking about with the Jags? They blew a 19-point lead in the fourth quarter to the Texans. I mean, it doesn't get much worse than that. Defensively, though, they're not going to have a game that bad the rest of the season. I just need to see this offense be anything remotely okay, despite them losing Travis Hunter for the rest of the year. Yeah, what a rookie season for Travis Hunter, guys. Injured, didn't do much of anything this season. Choked against the Bengals. Like, guys, Travis Hunter, phenomenal rookie season. 17, though. No, realistically, though, guys, I hope that he recovers fully and is able to have a much, much, much better, next couple months for him, for his sake. Again, that's what I'll say there, though. Serious there. 17, we got the Steelers. Their offense was so just unwatchable on Sunday night against the Chargers. And what did you know, like the Bengals this week? Guys, just so you know, if your offense is struggling, like the Steelers have basically most of this season, just play the Bengals. And especially with them being at home, I mean, it really doesn't get much better than that. 16, though, we got the freaking Bears. You might be asking why a 6-3 team is about as mid as about the most mid ranking here at 16. Pretty simply put, guys, I think this team is, again, the diet version of the Broncos right now, except they at least have a quarterback that might be a little bit more consistent. Again, like I said, that's why it's a diet thing. But still, for most of that game, Caleb Williams was absolutely awful. There was a lot of good things I saw out of the O-line, though, which is really encouraging, even though they've obviously had a very big game this year. I just need to see this offensive line continue to put together these sort of tempo sort of rhythms to really get in sync, which again kind of puts that running game in a very, very again good spot. Defensively, they really weren't that bad, but they do need to contain quarterbacks better. That's what I'll say there. 15, you got the Texans. They have the best defense in football. Offensively, they again scored 26 points in the fourth quarter. Really, it was 20, but still, that's something. It's a lot better than they had the past couple weeks. But again, I can't really trust the team to string anything together, except if they lose the Titans this week, that would just be absolutely embarrassing. But they do have a potential chance to win a playoff game, even though they probably won't be on because of the fact they have that defense. I'll just tell you guys that every single time until CJ Stroud finally actually plays like the way he should be. Niners are at 14. They probably should be lower, but at the end of the day, they still again didn't roll over and die against the Rams. Their defense is so cooked, though. Offensively, when they get their guys back, I think they will be able to compete a little bit better. But at the end of the day, guys, this team does need to be a ball control sort of team if they want to be able to win games, just because of how that defense is shaped right now. Third, again, with all those injuries. 13, again, the Packers. That was awful. It really wasn't that good at all. But again, they're still, again, fine. They still found themselves in a situation where they could have won that game, which I think was pretty impressive in itself. So that's why they're here at 13. You guys can see in the standings right here, they're still technically a half game off of the division. So there's definitely something there for them. But again, as you see for the Packers, they're at 13 for a reason. 12, Bucks. They were not great against the Patriots. They have a lot of big plays. Their offense, again, struggled once again. But again, considering the NFC's out, they're still going to lead the division. More or less probably have be the 4th seed and host a playoff game. That's about what we're going to see from them. We'll see, though. Baker Mayfield looked a little bit off, too. I would like to see him bounce back this next coming game in Buffalo, which won't be an easy thing to do, but that's why the Bills are at 11, because they had their worst game of the season as they got their absolutely smacked by the Dolphins. No one was expecting that. Josh Allen really didn't do a ton. I'm joking. He did a lot of nothing, considering, again, that's really what he did back in 2022, which is what I saw the version of him last week. Defensively, they were absolutely atrocious against the run. Until that changes, they will be in danger of losing, of not winning the AFC East for the first time since 2019, in which the Patriots won it at 12-4. Bills, though, they're again, if they lose, they're at risk of being a full 2.5 games back by the end of the week. This is a must-win weekend for them, especially the Patriots having what they have on Thursday night. But anyway, at 10, I have the Patriots. I don't think they're a better team than the Bills, to be honest with you guys, but they have been. They're on a 7-game winning streak. They played really well this past game. I can't ignore it as really much at all. Drake May, obviously, a lot of people are yelling for him to be MVP. I personally don't think that's the case, but he's been playing really well, obviously. Defensively, they're getting better and better as well. Pacers are in a really good spot, obviously, but again, with this really easy schedule and the fact that, again, they could definitely choke one of these, which would be hilarious. Yeah, they're probably not gonna be a team that I really am convinced in, unless they beat the Bills again when they rematch. Unless they already clinched the division by then, who really knows? But anyways, guys, at number 9 we have the what do we got at 9? Ravens. Yes, am I gaslighting you guys and making some crazy parlay for them to win the Super Bowl? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, they won an ugly game against the Vikings, and I think the biggest thing with them is the fact that their trajectory to winning this division is not linear, even though it basically has been so far, because they're only a 1 game back of the division, and are also 1-0 in the division. They have like 5 games against the rest of the division this year, right? Something like that. Maybe. Yeah, that definitely is true. They haven't played the Steelers yet either. So, the Ravens are in a really good spot, but again, this is a game against the Browns. They can ill afford to blow, but hot take of the week, who knows? 8 beat up the Lions. They didn't have to try, but their offense enjoyed their best game of the season, so I got a second best game. They did the 52-point outburst against the Bears. But, yeah, defensively, they didn't really have to do much of it either. I mean, it was just, I wouldn't say it was basically a bye week, but it was a bye week with Trump in there as well. But, yeah, Lions, good bounce back win. 7, I got the Chargers. They were really good. Offensively, it was a lot of kind of splash plays or flashes in the pan with a sustained running game that kind of anchored everything. And obviously their defense played out of their minds as well. So really nice performance there. 6, I have the Broncos. They're 8-2, and you might ask why they're not higher. They're on a 7-game winning streak just like the Patriots. But that was about one of the worst wins I've ever seen out of a team. But again, and then again, it was still a win. They're winning these one-score games. What else can I tell you guys? But yeah, realistically, the Broncos are going to be in for a rude awakening this week at home. Against these Chiefs, who have a number 5, because I think they will be putting together a completely arse-whipping, similar to what we saw from the Chiefs, kind of like the reciprocal of what we saw from the Broncos against the Chiefs in Week 18 last year, where the Chiefs had their backups. It's going to look like the Chiefs are playing backups this week. That is what I'll say, though. I'm not saying I'm trying to get ahead of the curve. I'm just trying to tell you guys what I think is happening. 4, I got the Colts. Yeah, they're good. They should probably be lower because they're shaky, but like Jonathan Taylor, so who cares? Also, their defense looked really fun, especially in that secondary. 3, Eagles. They're like legitimately statistically have the best score in one-score games. Best record in one-score games at 6-1. They had a really ugly win against the Packers this week, but hey, a win is a win. I'm gonna keep telling you guys that. And despite the running game still not really getting anything close, really only have one game. That was the Giants game. Saquon's pretty good against this Chiefs, but other than that, again, that's really about it there. Defensively, they with Jalen Phillips looking like a much more multiple group, which is what we'll be discussing in a second. But Seahawks, not Seahawks, that's who it is. Next, again, obviously Bird team's next, but the Eagles, they're pretty good. Seahawks are 2. They have the most multiple defense I've seen in a minute. I watched a lot of their film earlier today, and a lot of things I saw, especially, again, we looked like that Tampa game, which why am I watching that after they just played the Cardinals? A lot of their fronts were very, very rigid. Not exactly that, again, they didn't switch things up and try to make things tough. It was just hard to watch that group compared to what we saw last week. That's what I'll say there. Even though the Bucs offensive line at that time was definitely better than what we saw at the Cardinals last week. Seahawks, though, they're obviously in for a huge game this week against the Rams, who are my number 1 team in the league, as their offense is just absolutely going crazy right now. Matt Stafford is on an insane stretch. He is my MVP right now. They got to run the ball at a little bit more of a balanced clip towards Kyren Williams, and obviously their defense has been very good this season as well. But watch out for those tackles, because the Seattle D-line will be coming very hard in this one. But that's all I got there. We'll be talking all about those huge heavyweight matchups on Sunday coming up. Also got a big heavyweight matchup in Week 12 for the Colts and Chiefs. That's all I got for you guys there. Hope you guys enjoyed these power rankings this week. I'll see you all for the Thursday night preview tomorrow. But until then, hope you guys enjoy your night.
Jordan Poyer cheating that way a little bit.
Winston on the move for the end zone. Mike Evans, did he hold on? Touchdown, Tampa Bay! He had to catch it and keep his feet in, and I don't know how he did it.
Right, doing a nice job. But so possession, there's possession, 1 foot, dragging that back foot now all the way through the process of the catch.
Let's stay with it.